Hello all. Hello Tiffany. How could you do this to me? That's so mean. Why would you do this to me? Call me a nerd like that. It's so cruel. I'm so upset. Jesus Christ. 105 stream streak, thank you. That's insane. But thank you. I get so, like, confused by it. I'm like, how have you been here this long? So I did a little bit of stuff, just slowly plotting the monk and I'm way over leveled for the job now, but slowly working that one up there.
Your elemental power is green.
Greetings, Kobold. How are you? Good to hear, good to hear. Welcome in, welcome in. Oh, just starting out, but oh, I see you've been following me for a bit, but this is first time chat. Which part's confusing? The fact that you're already following me, or that this is first time chat? Yeah, little thing popped up around your name saying first time chat. I don't strictly recognize. Have you changed your name? I don't immediately recognize it. But that could also be my terrible memory. Yeah, there's a border around your thing that says first time chat. And you pop in saying when you said all good here. Maybe. Hold on, I can actually check this in a way. Let me like make sure I'm not the one having a stroke here on something. Yeah, no, okay. I don't know. It is currently Why did that open in Visual Studio? Weird. It is currently 13 degrees. It is reasonably warm at the moment because the weather has been a little bad. It's been quite overcast. Makes it all stuffy and shit. It's the middle of winter. Well, it's kind of the tail end of winter now, but it's winter here. I prefer sunny, like, winter sunny days are really nice. Because, like, you get all of the benefits of, like, of the sun, but the air is really cold. But then when it's overcast, the air just gets real stuffy and gross. At least here.
Mmm. Good smell. Flavor.
Ugh. Full humidity. Gross. Yeah, I mean, we've got pretty full humidity here. What is the humidity currently? Let me check. It is currently 88% humidity. So, not quite full, but pretty close. It gets to 100% over summer here, pretty consistently. But Kobo, you said that you changed your diet to low carb, high fat. How's that working for you? I'm high protein, medium carb, low fat. Oh yeah, you got called in early. Was that this morning, or like was that today's, like your shift that you just did, or was that the one you did yesterday? Damn. Yeah, that's quite a bit more than me. I do... Actually, I don't actually know what my carb numbers are. I know I'm 130 grams of protein a day. Well, 130 grams of protein in a single meal. Yeah, you just finished shift, but was that the one that you got called in early for, or were you called in early the shift yesterday? My app has apparently logged me out. Yeah, I'm on, sorry, 144 grams of protein and 120 grams of carbs, 29 grams of fat. That's for a single meal, but I only eat once a day, so... Hello, Materia. How are you? Oh, 12-hour shift, effectively. More if you count travel time. What are the dailies in that like? Anyway, I should probably actually start. Rather than just standing here in front of Nadana. Nadana? If you excuse me, I shall return to my work on the talisman. Oh, you're both back. Excellent. I have a message for you, Mistress Nadana. It would seem the stories of Giant's Gall are the stores of Giant's Gall are running low. What? But when last I looked, there was still plenty. I suspect that was before Urianger told everyone about their tempering cure, and Astinian shared his knowledge of dragons. Your peers have since been inspired to fashion a number of new talisman prototypes. See. Well, if it leads to new possibilities, then far be it from me to complain, but we'll need to replenish our stores. I should be happy to tend to this if you like. As much as I appreciate the offer, my dear boy, I can't in good conscience send you out there alone while kidnappers are at large. Shato, loath though I am to press another task on you so soon, might I ask you to fetch some Giant's Gall? In case you're not familiar, Giant's Gall is a type of ore found on the island. Owing to its hardness and ethereal conductivity, it has applications in many disciplines, alchemy not least of all. The quarry where it is found, aptly named Giant's Gall Grounds, isn't far away, so it shouldn't take much of your time. May we impose on you once more? Okay, so it's much the same as the daily things in Final Fantasy. Thank you. Upon arriving at the grounds, please seek out a man named Zenua. He will furnish you with the ore. At the very least, permit me to accompany you. It so happens I have an errand of my own that will take me to the outpost nearby. May we borrow a pair of Hamsa, Mistress Nadana? By all means, do be patient. Do try to be patient with them. Those that survived are still in training. I will bring the Hamsa to the entrance. Meet me there when you're ready. I'm assuming Hamsa is a mount. A local chocobo variant. Well, they've got chocobos here. They've got Ishgardian chocobos. Oh my god, they're like fucking giant dodos. They're hideous and adorable, and I love them. Here are our Hamsa, or chateau. If the creature looks familiar, it is because they are close to your Eorzean dodos. That's what I said. Dodos. Hamsa have long been kept as livestock in Thavnia, and many a hatchery may be found here. Alas, the largest of these was recently raised by monsters from the tower. On account of said hatchery being situated near the tower, the Radiant Host repurposed its remnants as an outpost. That is where my errand takes me, and your own destination is but a stone's throw away. If you have no objections, let us first make for the outpost. We set forth at your word. Are you ready? Then let us depart. You need only ride and relax. My bird and I will take the lead for yours to follow. Ah, cool. Sit back and do nothing. They are so derpy. Oh, it does straddle an isle. It's not, it is not, contiguous with the land. Look at me just getting XP as I go. About to get some more. Yep. Just tell him to fuck off, sure. And here we are. Manned by the Radiant Host, this outpost is our first line of defense against the tower. These look like dragoons. Well, well. Who should it be then but young Varshahan? On errand for the satrap? His Excellence bade me to come collect your report. He also wished to express his heartfelt gratitude to the brave men and women of the Radiant Host for their unflagging dedication. We simply do our duty, but we are honored to receive His Excellency's regard. And yet, for his boundless benevolence, his treatment of one so young could be regarded as callous. Though we have enjoyed relative peace and calm these last few days, this remains the front line of battle, no place for children. Your predecessor too often traveled alone. It's been, what, 2 years now since you took over? I wonder how the fellow is faring. Like those before him, he went on to represent the satrap in foreign lands. Wherever he may be now, I am certain he is well. As for myself, I assure you that all I do of my own volition, and gladly. I pray you do not think ill of His Excellency. Certainly not, lad. Whatever happens, my faith in the satrap is unwavering, but I still worry for you. We would be overcome with sadness if something were to befall you, for you are as a little brother to us all. take care, you hear. When they first approached, I thought they were going to be dicks, because they kind of look like dicks, but no, they're chill. I will. Nabdeen. Thank you. And who might this be? Not Hanish by the look of him. Permit me to introduce Oshato Jakia of the Eorzean contingent, come to assist in the making of the talisman. From Eorzea, you say? Towers have appeared over there too, yes? Tell me, what is the situation like? Might I suggest that you exchange information with our soldiers? Both parties would stand to learn something of value, I believe. An excellent idea. Given the unprecedented nature of the threat, some of ours are understandably anxious. We would be glad for any tidings you can share. You two, bring Varshan the latest report and answer any questions he may have. I've heard about you, the visitor from Eorzea. Is there anything you can tell us about the Telofori? We know that they're the ones behind the tower, that they've declared war on the whole world. But why are they doing this? What is it they want? This we don't understand. Boom. They want boom. What? They want to die? And take everyone with them? What madness is this? Well, you can bet that we won't let those bastards have their way. We'll fight with them with everything we have, like our Eorzean and Far Eastern brothers. It occurs to me I have yet to properly introduce our company. We are the Radiant Hosts, a military order under the Satrap's command. Our duty is to preserve peace in the land, be it patrolling the streets or dealing with heretofore unknown threats such as now. We train hard, and admit only capable warriors to our ranks. Even so, we've struggled to contend with the fiends from the tower. Though we succeeded in striking them down on 2 occasions they came in force, we had to pay a heavy price. What of the towers in Eorzea? Do they likewise spawn monsters? So it is much the same everywhere. With every nation struggling, we cannot expect calls for outside aid to be answered. I mean, the ones in Eorzea aren't really spitting out monsters. They're just kind of spitting out mind-controlled Imperials, for the most part. And the occasional, like, mind-controlled, like, the Tempered Beast tribes. But most of the time the Tempered Beast tribes are in the tower, you know, in the walls. Kuteyu. You wish to know about the tower? To be honest, we know little and less about it ourselves. This Tower of Zot, as folks have taken to calling it, suddenly appeared where it did on the Isle of Narnia. We are safe from its influence at this distance, but don't go too far into the water, and you'll expose yourself to its corrupting ether. You're a foreigner, aren't you? How are they dealing with the tower in your homeland? Our struggles are not unique. Then our hopes lie with the talisman. We must keep the monsters contained until they're ready. I'm so tempted. Oh. There's the wall barrier there. I wouldn't be able to make it out there. I can get to like there maybe by the looks. It's fine, I'm immune to it anyway. You know, a lot of video games from the PS2 era have conditioned me to be terrified of like ocean stuff. Because in so many of those games, you just get eaten by a giant fish if you go out into the ocean. Yeah, there's the wall. Like PS1, PS2 games. I used my sprint already. There's no myth right here. Damn it. Ba-ba-da-da-da-da-da. Ugh.
Finished speaking with the soldiers, have you? I hope it was as enlightening for you as it was for them. As a neutral nation and trading hub both, Radzad Han ordinarily receives a steady stream of news from abroad. Alas, this stream dried up when trading vessels stopped coming. Amidst the death of the dearth of information, everyone will have been grateful to you for your account. But come, you had best see to your original errand, as mine will keep me here a while longer. However, I'm afraid I cannot guide you the rest of the way. Worry not, the path is straightforward. You need but follow the road east. Upon the Hamsa you will arrive before you know it. Brief though it was, I enjoyed our time together. Till we meet again. Oh, I'm not autopiloting it at this time. Yeah, yes. Hello, Tiffany. I am sitting. I do not have a standing desk. I'm far too lazy for that. This thing's so derpy. I know, I heard it is a very bad week to be a celebrity in your 80s. He was also the voice of Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. Damn it! I needed to be on the stupid Hamsa. Fuck.
Alright. I autopiloted. Yeah, it's been a sad week of celebrity deaths. I've seen the jokes that a lot of people have been making on that one, but we will nip that conversation in the bud. That particular aspect of the conversation. Yeah, it's been a sad one. Into the circle I go. No sooner do you arrive at your destination than the hamster dashes off. That's exactly what happened before. I just did it slightly outside the circle. Aye, this is indeed the Giant Skull ground, and I am Zenuya. Is there something you require? Giant Skull for the alchemists, you say? But of course they shall have it. They labor tirelessly as to deal with the tower. 'Tis the least we can do to provide them with the materials they need. Oh no, I leveled up. I mean, that was expected. I've only got 2 classes left at level 80. Here you go. A sack of the purest giant skull. We always set some aside for our alchemist friend. When you deliver it, let the good folk of the Great Work know that we're grateful for their efforts. If they need more, they need but ask. I'll just ride my own mount back. You know, it took me way too long to realize this game had an auto-walk feature. I am currently not pushing any buttons. Still have to steer though. Ah! Ah! Oh wait, there's an eighth right here. I could have teleported back. Damn it. Oh well. Ah, welcome back, Oshato. Dare I hope you have the giant skull? Oh my, such fine specimens. Thank you so much for bringing these. We now have everything we need to make our next prototype. One that should be capable of passing our most rigorous tests. When it's ready, it'll be time for the true test. So please, take your ease while you can. I don't like that. That person was suspicious. I don't know why, but... I'm the suspicious one now. Walking out to the beach for no good reason.
I see our taskmasters have allowed you a moment's respite as well.
Look at us cavorting on the beach.
You have to hand it to these alchemists. They are determined to see this endeavor of theirs succeed. I've never been one for blind optimism, but I sincerely get the sense they're close to a breakthrough.
Yeah, giving something...
Better be, or all this effort was for naught.
Like, having something that can make other people immune to tempering is, like, fucking huge.
The peoples of Eorzea, of the Far East, of Thavner, children of this star united in common cause against a dire threat. Yet ere they succumbed to suicidal madness, were not the Telophoroi born of her body as were we? They who cling to life and the promise of the morrow's dawn, against they who desire death and an ending of their own orchestration.
Motherfucker, what?
The victors of this war alone will hold the right to answer the question of existence, of its meaning, and its worth.
Poetic and ominous to a fault. That said, if it's an existential debate in nature, then our arguments might not be as persuasive as you'd think. Fandaniel wants to die and take everyone with him in an orgy of pain and suffering. An utterly vile and unforgivable idea. And yet, when spat upon by fate and wailing in the deepest pit of despair, who among us can say they have not entertained similar thoughts? There are nights black as pitch, bereft of hope, and no words of comfort can reach you. And it's all you can do to grit your teeth and choke back the bile.
I don't think any of us have thought of,
The
like,
more
taking
you
the
see
world
and
out
suffer
with
life's
us.
injustices, the more difficult they become to bear. Vengeance is nurtured in similar soil. Though your anger has a broader focus, the sentiment is much the same. A fervent desire to destroy others, to see them drown in torment, as you have.
That about sums it up. The will to endure is not always as strong as the urge to burn it all down and salt the earth. Survival be damned. It's a struggle, often close and brutal.
Indeed. Well, I, for one, shall pray survival proveth more appealing in the end.
As will I. Besides, our chances are much improved when we've the company of others committed to the cause of life. Our vengeful dragoon here is proof of that.
He's just like, what the fuck I got to do with this? Damn, I just didn't say anything.
What is it? What did you see? Daniel, are you sure? If he knows we've been working on a countermeasure.
It holds. The vessel holds. This is the one.
At long last! Look! We have finally created a talisman strong enough to withstand our experiments! We've named it a warding scale for the time being. With this in your possession, your soul should be completely shielded from corruptive ether.
Afforded such protection, any one of us may approach the towers without fear. Thou hast mine admiration. 'Tis an invention of historical significance.
I wonder if the warding scales would also work against the... like obviously with the fact that like day is no longer super pervasive in the first, I don't think the Sin Eaters are able to turn people into Sin Eaters anymore. But I wonder if like that would also work against whatever the fuck the Sin Eaters were doing. Which, to be fair, like most of the time they just seem to like kill you and then you turned into a Sin Eater. Not always, but... You know, so if you had that on, you just die instead.
Thank you for your kind words. But I would prefer you keep them unsaid until we test the talisman's efficacy in the field. It is for the next stage of our plan that we summoned you in the first place, to accompany me to the Tower of Zot. Should the scale prove effective, as I very much hope it will, then you'll have little to do. But should the effect be weaker than anticipated, I must ask that you restrain me, or knock me senseless. Either way, we are fortunate to have you with us.
Nidana, are you certain you wish to do this?
I feel like someone physically easier to restrain would be a better person to do this.
If others are to trust our creations, then we must have faith in them first. And as the senior researcher, it falls to me to lead by example. But should I fail to return, then learn what you can from this attempt and apply it to the next. Our work must continue. Is that clear?
We'll keep an eye on the place while you're away. Assuming Daniel is lurking about, there's no telling what mischief he has in mind for us, or you. Be on your guard.
Shall we be on our way? I'll have one of the soldiers at the hatchery prepare us a boat, and we can set out from the northern shore. I'll see you there.
No, we're going back over there. I'm gonna go along the beach this time, though. You know, I haven't seen any aether currents. They are here. They're just forgot to check for them, and I hadn't seen any just kind of around. No. Leave me alone. This is a rather finer boat than I had expected, but I won't complain. All that remains is to board and be on our way. Oh, and if I should become corrupted, do not stay your hand. Of course I pray that it does not come to that, but you must protect yourself. Other alchemists can fulfill my role, but you and your blessing are one of a kind, and perhaps our only hope for toppling this tower. For all our sakes, do not hesitate to do what must be done, whatever that may be. Well, the longer I draw this out, the more nervous I become. Let's be off.
We should soon cross the threshold of the tower's influence. Any moment now. It's working! And you are still yourself? Then I'd like to see how it fares closer to the tower if we could.
Oh, that's concerning. This will be the first time I've been near one of the towers, though, isn't it? I don't think I've been near any of them. The door is open. I don't like that.
So far, so good. The scale's protection appears to be holding. If we can just make it to the tower's entrance. A few more steps.
You're too far away.
Praise be to the sisters, we made it! And the scale has proven itself to be everything we hoped it would be. Now we can focus on production. Once we've equipped and returned with an entire survey team, this menace will soon give up.
Get away from the door. We know there's monsters in here. Look at me just standing there.
Oh, let me go! Oh, let me go! Oh!
Yeah, bringing a beast.
Oh, do calm down. You'll only hurt yourself thrashing about like that.
Bringing one of the elephant people here was a mistake. When would his robes get purple?
Stop! Oh, you can't do this! Please!
The fact that his robes are purple is important to the story.
A little late for heroics, I'm afraid. The similarities are striking. My! Such hostility! Never before has my artistry so displeased. My patrons of old would have positively squealed in delight, though, between you and me, I find gushing praise exhausting. Allow me to tell you a story. Surely you've yet to hear the one about Van Daniel, the sundered Ascian. I inherited the position and the soul of the Van Daniel who sat on the convocation in the time of the final days, theoretically speaking. Practically speaking, that fact is of no consequence. I was born and lived as, well, me. Eventually, I was recruited into the Ascians and imbued with the former Van Daniel's knowledge and memories, but I never felt that they were truly a part of who I am. How to explain? Perhaps if I told you who I was before my Ascian embrace, although that chapter too is a past I've long since discarded. I have it on good authority you've poked your nose into an Allegan ruin or two. Yes? Then I expect you've heard of me. The old me.
At your service. Imagine a nation of unbridled prosperity. Every need met, day after day of unbroken, unshakable peace. Existence fulfilled and ripe for decay.
You are a genius without peer, Amon. However do you conceive of such delightful experiments? That fool was beside himself with panic when he awoke with the head of a bull. Even his cries for help emerged as so much guttural lowing. Oh, the memory of it. My poor sides. My friends and I were so consumed by laughter we struggled to breathe.
No more than entertainment for bored wastrels ignorant of its worth. My all-consuming work. But it was not their only indulgence. For they were ever hungry for stimulation. Slaves to the slightest hint that amusement was afoot. Our nation was ailing, but I would see the poison purged. I resurrected a legend, our first and greatest emperor. And just as I had planned, he set our wayward empire back on the path of conquest. An inexhaustible ambition carried us onwards, always onwards. Yet, he who delivered to us such glory was not to be satisfied.
Heed me, Amon. No matter how vast one's empire, or full one's treasure vault, all is rendered meaningless by death. In the end, all is lost.
You know as well as I that the Emperor stands to lose this war, and so I have come to claim you. For while your methods leave something to be desired, we cannot deny the results of your work. And as fortune would have it, the seat of Fandaniel, your rightful seat, lies vacant and waiting. Take your place amongst your peers, rather than die a pointless death amidst the ashes of your doomed nation. Send one of your clones to the Crystal Tower that you might see for yourself. See what lies ahead.
Did we fight Amon in the Crystal Tower?
The fall of
Is
the
that why I
Empire
remember the name?
affirmed the truth. Majestic and tragic, as the Emperor foresaw. Scheme as you like, build as you will, nothing endures. What is life but a brief jaunt ending in emptiness?
Where have I heard that line before? Life is a brief jaunt ended by death or something. Not the exact quote, but like the same sentiment. Ah, he used my echo moment to escape. The bitch.
So easily distracted. Why, I almost left without saying farewell.
To be fair, it is a glaring fault of the echo.
As for your friend, you needn't worry. These pawns are far more useful to me alive as fuel for the primals. If you attempt to pull them free, they will die. So, enjoy tackling that conundrum with your comrades. We shall meet again! Not in one of these mine spires, oh no, but somewhere more suitably grandiose. Your favorite playmate is ever so eager to see.
Can he, like, die? For good. You've returned, but where is Mistress Nitana? Mansuya Preserve. Just when we had succeeded in making the talisman. I must report this at once. Meanwhile, please return to the great work. See, like, there's so many reasons why, like, another person should have come, and not her. Like, literally anyone else. For I imagine, like, the other researchers would be less useful to Fandaniel. In which case, he may have just killed them. Which, you know, is good and bad, but... Nope, this way. Urianger! Thank you. Something's gone awry, hasn't it? What happened? So it was Fandaniel after all. Damn that bastard. I'm sure you wanted to do more, but you were right to return here first. We must tread warily, lest we endanger Niranya and the other captives. Yeah, but like my initial concern was like, I should take someone less physically capable. You know, not a giant elephant that could punch my fucking lights out. If she went, like if she got tempered. And also, we know that the tower wants the beast tribes to fuel their, like, system. Which is why they keep kidnapping the elephant people here. So it would have been better to take anyone who wasn't an elephant person. I forget what they're called. Arca Sodalar or something like that. We must tread warily lest we endanger Nadana and the other captives. Oh my god, I leveled up! What a surprise! Alright, my last one. Ninja. First, we must inform everyone of the situation, Nadana's colleagues included. I'll call them together for a gathering, but I think it would be best if you were the one to explain. I'm gonna get blamed for this shit, aren't I? Oh, Nadana. Can you answer me this? Though Nadana's trapped in the tower, she's still alive, yes? Then we must make warding scales, as many as we can. They did work. The prototype works perfectly. This Nadana proved at peril to herself. So let us make more scales, so that she and all those who were taken might be saved. Very pragmatic, this group. Aye, as alchemists, this is how we will help win the fight. My friends, the satrap has been made aware of the tragedy. He offers his heartfelt condolences and reiterates his pledge to provide you with all that you require. To that end, he bade me give you this link pearl, that he might personally discuss the production of the warding scales with you. Yeah, it sounds like it was a, like they were laughing about that guy having his head swapped out, and then it just seemed like a really stagnant society. Kind of reminded me of the Eldar. Of the Eldari in Warhammer. Just bored and do fucked up shit because they're bored as a society. And for our Eorzean visitors, I bear an invitation. In her report, Mistress Nadana noted your vital contribution to the talisman's creation. This fact came to the satrap's attention, and at recognition of your deeds, he wishes to meet you. In addition to thanking you in person, he would also discuss further avenues of collaboration. And so, if it is agreeable, will you not accompany me to Radzad Han for an audience with His Excellency? I look like a fucking vampire in this outfit. We should be honored, of course. Closer cooperation between our lands can only be to the benefit of all. Then it's settled. Please, come to the gates east of the Giant Skull grounds, and I will show you into the city. Ba 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 ba. Ba da 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 da. Da 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 da. Ba 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 ba. Da 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 da.
Seems like Fandaniel is there Slanesh. Yeet. Fucking road. Let me jump off things. Stupid game, let me fall. I gotta go back down and around. You know, I can help him with that part, if he just, you know, stays still. I'm just gonna walk past. No, I'm not just gonna walk past. All present? Then let us proceed. Owing to the threat of the tower, the city is currently in a state of high alert, and strict restrictions are in place for entry. Though you have been granted special permission, I ask that you remain close to me at all times.
A vast rock squats upon Favnir, and to its stony surface clings the city of Rads at Han. Ye who enter here are subject to the scrutiny of gods, the gate's most watchful eye. The orb which beholdeth the truth of all things.
No, they're gonna work out that I'm 1/13th more than the rest of you.
Pass beneath its hot and piercing gaze, bearing down like a second midday sun.
One-14th? 1/14th. No.
The fragrant haze, a mixture of sweet incense and acrid smoke. The cries of merchants mingled here with lively melodies accented by dancers' feet. Travelers seduced by vivid sound and colors were once swallowed up by patchwork streets.
But no such scenes to savor now. To what somber present does that divine eye bear witness?
Here we are. Megaduta.
Megaduta.
It seems a shame to bring you here directly. Under normal circumstances, it would have been my pleasure to show you the sights.
And it would have been our pleasure to see them. Alas, it seems our tour of the city will have to wait.
I'm afraid so. Come, we should head inside.
I should sit on my chair properly, otherwise I'm going to hurt my back.
Your Excellency, may I present our honored visitors?
Is the satrap going to be revealed as someone we've already met? No.
Ah, splendid.
Okay.
Most splendid.
Just new character entirely.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Ahawan, satrap of Radzatan. Our alchemists tell me your assistance was invaluable in the creation of the warding scale. Such deeds ought to be recognized in person. Thus did I have young Varshan convey you here forthwith. On behalf of my people, may I express to you our sincere gratitude. A regrettable incident indeed. Her colleagues insist that we honor her wishes and trust in the talisman, that it will be instrumental in saving Nidana and the others. I am eager to hear your opinion on the matter, so let us not stand on ceremony. Come, sit.
I think not. This charade has gone on long enough. Show yourself.
Forgive me, but were you expecting musicians, perhaps? There are no performers waiting in the wings at present, but arrangements
Bear
could
no,
be
man,
made if
bear
you
no mind
prefer.
to the man behind the curtain, or the dragon behind the curtain.
Nay, he hath the right of it. The time for artifice is past. Raise the curtain.
As you wish.
You travel as assistants to the students of Valdesian, but you are known to me. Even here have we heard of the scions of the Seventh Dawn. I am Vritra, and for years uncounted have this isle served as mine abode.
Vritra, of the First Brood, sibling to Hraesvelga and Nidhogg.
Aye, mine elder brothers, of Midgard's Sonra's spawn. I was last to hatch.
Well, isn't this a surprise? We were told Radzat Han had an alliance with the dragon. Not that a great worm sat in the satrap's own hall.
Estinian can sense
A
it.
necessary subterfuge, as the true tale of our nation history illustrates most effectively. In the beginning, the rock upon which our city is built was home to Vitra, and Vitra alone. In time, the ancestors of the Matanga came to the island and established a foothold. But never did they dare disturb the worm's lair. Next to arrive with the Aura, adopting the example of their Akasodra allies, they too treated Vitra with reverence and respect. And for many years, an understanding between our forefathers and the Great Worm endured. Until marauding heroes from the mainland came, threatening to shatter our peace and tranquility. When it seemed all would be drowned in blood, Vitra himself came forth and quelled the rising conflict. A peaceful accord was reached, and oaths sworn in Vitra's name. Thus began the dragon's governance of the fledgling state, which was to grow into Radz Athan.
But if Vitra is still here, then your position as satrap is just...
A charade, yes. And one which my family has performed faithfully for generations.
Many envy the great worms their power. Were it known that I ruled here, then the fires of war would burn without end.
Fair.
I would not be the flame which consumeth my people. Those few who join me in laying our country's foundations were, perforce, sworn to secrecy.
Your eye. It was taken.
Oh god, not another one.
"'Tis here, buried within a semblance of flesh.
Oh, okay.
The body before thee is but a simulacrum, constructed by the finest artisans of Razatan. With mine eye nestled within, it doth serve as an inconspicuous vessel for my will."
That would explain why I felt the presence of a dragon upon our first meeting.
I am woven with words fashioned to deceive such arcane senses. Though 'twas short-lived, it seemeth thy fusion with my brother hath left thee much altered, Estinian warm-blood. From the very first, we sensed the nature of one another, yet did neither one of us bare his fangs.
This explains why Estinian
That
was so
is all
uncomfortable
I
when the
need
kid showed
know
up.
of thee for now.
With my secret thus revealed, I have for you a proposal. Not as a worm of the first brood, but as the ruler of Radz Athan. With all haste must we take in hand the finished talismans and breach this foul spire. Thence, should it lay within our power, dispel its wicked influence. Yet even with the assurance of the warding scales, the narrow confines of the tower doth limit the size of our force.
And thus denied strength in numbers, thou must choose thy soldiers with care.
Just so. Yet though our radiant host is formidable, I see a sure path before me.
What a coincidence. We have, right now, a healer, a tank, and a DPS with an Estinian off-screen. And another DPS, but I can be whatever. That's enough for a dungeon party. What a cool winky dink.
Thou and thy comrades have contended with a multitude of primal beings. Most recently, thou didst cast down false gods in Padalthan and Cartanau, I am told. 'Tis upon that strength I would call. The Scions have proven themselves the most capable, and I ask that you serve as the tip of our spear. Talismans would, of course, be provided for each of thy companions. And should you agree to this undertaking, more will be provided to make use of as you see fit.
There's no denying it's a dangerous proposition, but the rewards may far outweigh the risk. Just think of what we might accomplish if we could equip all our allies with warding scales. I worry, however, that even the four of us may be too few for what you have in mind. Might we regroup with our friends first to discuss the matter?
'Tis no trifling task that I have laid before you. Go. Steel your hearts and hone your plans. Such time as you require shall be spent in crafting your protective charms.
It seems a quick trip back to Sharlayan is in order.
Thancred, you're gonna have to deal with that aether sickness.
Wilt thou not lend thine aid?
Whether your request be made as a great worm or the ruler of Rads at Han, I see no reason to refuse, nor will I.
I am in thy debt.
With his spear, like, literally fucking soaked in the blood of his brother. But, back to Sharlayan, the rest of us can use the Aetherite. Thancred, on the other hand, that meeting took a rather unexpected turn, but we now have a clear objective ahead of us. Let us rejoin our comrades in Sharlayan, and muster a suitable crew for our foray into the Tower of Zot. Oh, and if you haven't already done so, be sure to attune to the Aetherite here before departing. Unless, of course, you enjoy violent nausea. His spear is called Nidhogg too? I didn't know that. Very on the nose. Oh, that's cool. I like that. That his armor's called Ice Heart. This is not the correct way. That's nice. A female Hrothgar. You don't see them very often. Just as I was getting used to balmy Thavnir, we're back in chilly Sharlayan. Take care not to catch your death, eh? We need you for the battles to come. Now then, your investigation here remains, but when that's over, we can take stock of all the developments and discoveries. Oh, would you look at that? I hit level 81. What a strange coincidence that is. I still haven't like tipped Black Mage over yet though. So I guess I'm going to 82 now. These are oh, fuck. This side's all level 80 as well. Ugh. An unsettling change has come over Sharlayan, but together we will divine an underlying cause for the forum's callousness. Yeah, I figured as much. Hello, Thyrus. How are you doing today? As I mentioned before, however, questioning the councillors directly is a fruitless endeavour. They seem to have already come to a consensus as to what and how little they are willing to divulge, which is why I began scouting Sharlayan's archives for historical records of any hint to a connection to the final days. Suffice it to say, their progress has been slow. There are only so many dusty pages one can skim in a day, but now that I have this band of willing reinforcements, the search should proceed with... I can read, I promise. The search should proceed all the swifter. Let us reconvene outside Nomenon, shall we? Exit the annex to the right, and you'll find the archives on the western edge of the woods. We've got a big posse this time. Okay, so going into the Tower of Zot will be like everyone, you know, chop and change for the whole crew kind of thing, but... Is this the building up the top? It is. Nope, it's not. Yeah. So the fact that they effectively just gave me a perfectly good four-man party to start with was coincidental. Beavis! Where's Butthead? I cannot go this way. I can go here. I really love this music. My directions were easy enough to follow, I hope. In any case, you stand now before the doors of Numenon, Sharlayan's grandest collection of books and tomes. Like, just this guitar piece in the music here is just so nice. This building is actually only an entrance, and many of one at that, for the archives of Numenon extend deep beneath the surface, like the roots of a tree. The vast halls of the great Google Library pale in comparison to Numenon's endless maze of subterranean chambers. Any citizen of Sharlayan is free to enter and peruse its shelves. Well, most of its shelves. Only Archons are afforded access to certain restricted vaults. I've dispatched Yustola and Raha to investigate those. Meanwhile, Eorzea and Alphino will help me continue my search through the stacks open to the general public. Your status presents more of a problem. As a non-citizens, you're only permitted to browse the first floor, here at the entrance. Even so, there should be a number of books which touch upon Sharlayan history or forum policy. Your task will be find and study the relevant publications.
I promise you, a working knowledge of those subjects will make it far easier to spot the sort of clues we're looking for. Let us be about it, shall we? I've told the others to meet us at the stone benches over there once they've found some promising tomes. Happy reading. Brightly coloured book. Hopefully it's got pictures. The story of Charlian. Long, long ago, on an island in the northern sea, there lived a Rogadin man by the name of Nunkreft. Nunkreft was a student of astrology. Okay, no, that hurts my throat. And he divined that a flood of terrifying proportions would soon sweep over the lands of Eorzea. And so it was that he built a gigantic ship, assembled a crew, and set sail for that imperiled realm. The flood arrived as foretold, and to their horror, the strangely churning waters drove the people towards the ocean. It was there, however, that Nuncroft's crew hauled them aboard his ark, and the danger had not passed. But the danger had not passed. A towering wave approached, threatening to smash the vessel to pieces. With only moments to spare, Nuncroft wove a mighty spell of teleportation, and shifted the entire ship to safety atop Abelathia's spine. Refugees from the surrounding regions huddled there alongside them. But it was not long before the disputes over the dwindling supply of food led to violence and bloodshed. It's the giant fucking ship in Garabandia. I remember that. Saddened by the sight, Nuncreft gathered to him his crew and his grateful passengers, and abandoned the ark to those reddened peak. They journeyed to the coasts, where they built a new ship, intent upon returning to the northern seas. They landed on the beach of an island, and settled upon that very spot. That settlement prospered and grew, and in time became the city of Charlian we live in to this day. Roads of Old, the colony. Many years ago, on the banks of the Thaliak, in the Dravanian hinterlands, a Charlian colony once thrived. The settlement originally established as a mere outpost to study the ethereal sea in the year 1311 of the 6th Astral Era. I was like, what the fuck's the date? Wait. It would be like year 1 of the 7th Astral Era, wouldn't it? Maybe even year 0. Or is it the 6th Umbral Era now? I forget which way around it was. Scholars dispatched to Eorzea found the facilities wanting, and their demands encouraged a gradual expansion in structures and service. As rumors spread of a growing community of academics, the area was further inundated with Eorzean students hoping to share in the renowned wisdom of the Charlians. 50 years later, the Forum passed a motion to recognize what had become a flourishing town as an official Charlian colony. Eorzean residents took to calling the colony itself Charlian, which led to no small amount of confusion when discussions turned to the subject of the motherland. I thought that too. It was stupid. Year 1, 7th Astral. Okay. I couldn't remember if it was currently 7 Umbral or 7 Astral. So Astral is the active period of regrowth. In response, some Charlian inhabitants, if pressed for a name, would simply refer to it as Emporium. Following the Exodus, however, goblin and treasure hunters claimed for themselves a corner of the abandoned colony and gave it yet another name, Edelshire. The following chapters go on to introduce the most prominent features of Eorzea. The book does not appear to contain any additional information on the Forum or cover the history of the Sharlayan motherland in greater detail. One more book. Over there. Wait. Oh! Oh, this might take a little bit. Oh, what's that though? Oh, just magical bridge. I was like, wait, no. It's not just read 3 things. Let's read 3 relevant things. Okay, this might take a sec. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna do this in like a smart order. So I'm gonna go as I'm gonna rotate around the room. So I did those ones. Oh, that's an elevator? Okay. Oh, I see. In the years which followed the founding of Sharlayan, civic policy and other matters of import were decided at the Ecclesia, a public forum at which every citizen was eligible to speak. As the city's population grew, however, the format became increasingly impractical. The larger number of participants gave rise to ever-longing debates, resulting in significant delays in vital resolutions. Jump. Jump and catch the ledge. That's how you get down. Various measures were introduced in an attempt to curtail protracted discussions, but in the year 201 of the 6th Astral Era, it was ultimately decreed that Sharlayan would transition to a new form of governance. The nation would now be led by a body of 99 members, citizens chosen from among their peers by means of a nationwide vote. This was the Forum as we know it today, conceived and created. Blue-covered book. An introduction to the heavens. Interesting. Have you ever gazed at the skies above and contemplated the mysteries contained therein? I speak not of shifting cloud patterns, but of the vastness beyond, of the sun and the twinkling tapestry of the night. Some think the dome above us to be a finite space, yet among the leading thinkers of our age, one scholar's depiction of a boundless sea of stars has firmly taken root. Alas, this heavenly sea remains an unreachable, unknowable destination. There are few who indeed can explain, in satisfactory detail, why our own star is believed to revolve around the sun. It was the technologies of Alag who came closest to understanding the laws which governed the starry abyss. It was they who launched the Dalamud, sought to expand beyond our earthbound existence. Having read of their ancient ambitions, I wonder, has your interest in this field of study waned or waxed? What if I were to tell you that the eternal constellations were arranged differently in the distant past, that their position continued to shift almost imperceptibly, but measurably as we journey into the future? Would it shock you to learn that the stars drift further and further apart, and may indeed do so forever? Are you eager to learn more? The book is on the wrong subjects. Search for works which contain details on the Forum, or mention the history of Sharlayan. But that was really interesting! Forever 20 Summers. This sounds like some fucking fanfiction book. My beloved seekers of knowledge, have you ever put learning before your health and neglected to feed and rest your body as it should? I too once engaged in such foolish practice, but one night, engrossed in a philosophical study, I had an epiphany. For all the world's mysteries that drive us to reckless abandon, we have so very few years of life in which to achieve our goals. Thus, I do share with you this mantra. I am forever 20 summers young. The number itself is unimportant. You could be 19, or 23, or 40, whatever age you are when you discovered this manual. Let that be the age you aspire to remain. Through mindful, healthy living, you will extend the time available to spend upon your chosen research. Another day, another moon, another summer to grasp greater truths than you pursue. In the pages that follow, we will explore the secrets of maintaining one's physical condition from a biological, etheriological, and arcane viewpoint. I mean, yeah. Again, a full, sci-fi Final Fantasy game would be interesting, rather than the kind of waning, most Final Fantasy games tend to have this concept of waning technology, or progressive technology, where a lot of technology is very new, or the technology is ancient and no one knows how to use it anymore. There's not a lot of the in-betweens in Final Fantasy games. They do exist, but it's not super common. Stewards of Wisdom. During the chaos of the Sixth Umbral Calamity, Archon Yunkreft, founder of Sharlayan, bore witness to the madness and savagery men brought to the brink of despair. Upon raising a settlement on an island in the Northern Empty, he instructed his people thus: renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason. The Sharlayans took heart to the words of their savior, and thenceforth served as stewards of wisdom. Upon a foundation of accumulated learning, they built a homeland unlike any other, a nation born from strength of minds rather than strength of arms. With knowledge of economics came shrewd trading. With knowledge of agriculture came bounding crops. Engineering brought wells and sewers, ending squabbles over water. Wealth of expertise can be bartered for wealth in coin. And the more their wisdom spread through the world, the more mankind as a whole would thrive. And so, it was no matter the trials and tribulations of the age. The citizens of Sharlayan would live by their founder's teaching. For the sake of a better tomorrow, for the sake of a brighter star, they would eschew the tools of war, with knowledge deliver the world. I think my favorite depiction of the Final Fantasy games that I have played is, depiction of technology is in Final Fantasy X. I think largely because, the progression of the technological advancement and technology within this game's world is very integral to the actual plot and world building as a whole. It's not kind of it's not a part of the world building. In a lot of ways, it is the world building. The technology stuff. I think I read all of them. I thought I got all of them because I walked around in a circle. And they weren't any more along the line that I was going towards. Fuck, did I miss one? Sorry, were you waiting long? Wait, no, I missed one! Was it a good one? Fuck! I really wanted to read all of them. Hopefully they're still available to read. I wanted to make sure I borrowed at least a few promising volumes. Alphino and Kryl should be along shortly. I was delayed in a similar fashion. As far as I could see, no titles in the Archon stacks mentioned the final days specifically, so we have no choice but to start with the tangentially relevant tomes, if they are even that. At present, the plan is to skim through as quickly as we dare, and share our discoveries as we make them. It would be nice to invite everyone to the estate. Plenty of comfortable places to read, and a ready supply of hot tea. I was always quite fond of reading outside. But it's not about the little pleasures, is it? You miss your home. It's been difficult. After our arrival, we managed to speak with one of the family servants and ask how things were. It seems our dear father has instructed the staff that even if Alphino and I would return to Sharlayan, we were not to be allowed across the threshold. A harsh measure indeed. I hope that our efforts to understand his position and that of the Forum will perhaps lead to a reconciliation. We'll mend this rift one day, I'm certain of it. And what of you, Graha? Have you been to visit your family? Or do they not live here in the city? Ah, well, my situation's also somewhat complicated. I was raised in Sharlayan, yes, but I was born rather further away. In the southern reaches of Eorzea, in fact. For generations, my people have dwelt in Corvos, a coastal region, opposite the island of Thavnia. The Alligans founded a city in that fertile land, and by ship brought in the subjugated tribes of the Makote to serve as laborers. Of course, the massive earthquakes of the Fourth Umbral Calamity brought an end to the Empire's reign, and when the Fifth Calamity froze the seas solid, many of the tribes still living in Corvos braved the journey back to Eorzea. My ancestors, however, chose to remain, that they might prevent the remnants of Allagan technology from being misused. Isn't Corvos under Gallian rule? For the past 50 years, yes, some semblance of local culture remains, as the case for most imperial provinces, but Garlemald renamed the region Locus Amonis. When I was a boy, a nearby town came under the jurisdiction of an illustrious imperial family, the nobles of House Darnus. Darnus is fucking Shitstain's adopted family, right? No. Have I heard the name Darnus before? No, Shitstain's family was like Barbados or something like that. Nail? Who fuck's Nail? Oh, was that the one who was obsessed with Dalamud, right? From 1.0 and the Binding Coils? The one who was male and then female, but may have always been female? Or something? It wasn't super clear. House Darnus demonstrated a singular interest in Allagan civilization, and so my tribe was forced to consider a plan of action. For some time already, voices had been raised in favor of abandoning our ancient customs, After all, the Allegan Eye no longer passed to our oldest children as reliably as it once had. Fear of discovery eventually tipped the scales, and the decision was made to bury our tribe's ties to the knowledge and traditions of Alag. As the last child born with the Allegan Eye, I was given over to the custody of friends and a student of Baldessian, who had me registered as a Sharlayan citizen. I never even considered. Forgive me, it was an unkind question. Even Thancred was taken in by Archon Louis Soir, was he not? Stories of adopted waifs and rescued orphans are more common among Sharlayans than you might think. Yet, regardless of our origins, we are all provided with an equal opportunity to learn, and with sufficient perspicacity, we outsiders can even earn the vaunted title of Archon. 'Tis exactly why I have such love for this country, and why I wish it to remain a nation of which its citizens can be proud. Hear, hear. Another good reason to get to the bottom of the foreign's stubbornness, apart from the trifling matter of our impending doom. Excuse us while we try to make some headway into these books of Chateau. More company should be arriving any moment now. Just waiting on your Stola after this. We've returned with our selections. Although I must say the pickings were quite slim indeed. Mistress Kyle has already flicked through every history book devoted to disasters, and more than a few which barely made mention of them. As such, we will be looking into research papers on the Umbral calamities, as well as articles written by prominent forum members. Perhaps their knowledge of the final days comes from an unexpected source. Speaking of which, might I ask you a few questions related to the final days? I am the only one here who didn't witness the events of Amarot's first hand, and fear I may be overlooking critical details. Thanks. Now, where to begin? You know, there's like a thing here where it's like, I wish Emmett Selk was still around, because fuck, he would be wanting to stop Fandaniel too. And we could also pick his brain about all this shit. First things first, what kind of phenomena did the ancients encounter as the final days drew nigh? A complete destabilization of creation magics. That was my understanding of it, at least. Yes, the unfolding catastrophe wrought havoc in all manner of life. The chaos extended to the ancients themselves, causing their powers of creation to spiral out of control. Fear and despair manifested in terrible, tangible fashion. Meteors raining from the sky, fire erupting from the ground. Indescribable abominations prowling the streets. I have a little bit of hope that he's like gonna come back during this expansion purely because he's the narrator. So I'm like, did they get him to do the narration just because people like the character, or like is it foreshadowing for something? I'm also now I'm on this conversation here. I'm linking a little bit here in my brain of summoning primals is ancient creation magic. It's the same thing.
Yeah, but like, the thing that made Emmett Selk really good, was the his really like dramatic flair and such, which isn't really flexed when you're narrating so much. That more or less aligns with my understanding. If only the arts of creation had survived until present day, we might have had something substantial to analyze. To the best of our knowledge, however, those techniques were not preserved or passed on. Your Stoller surmises that the closer known magic is that of the summoning rituals promulgated by the Ascians. Yes. Was there aught else of note which heralded the approach of the final days? Well, it wasn't all at once. Like, there was, like... Because they were talking about, like, areas... Like, because there was the conversation, the debate, because there was those two debating, and the debate was, like, should we, who are currently unaffected by this, send our aid? Which seemed to heavily indicate that whatever was going on started at a certain point and then moved across until it reached the major cities. Ah, yes. The Amarotine spoke of it, didn't they? We never did hear this sound ourselves, of course, thrust as we were into the midst of the madness. But it seems that each and every one of the catastrophes was preceded by an ominous noise. Eventually, it resounded all across the star, and not even Amarot was spared. So the ground was crying out, you say. To be considered the harbinger of doom, it must have been quite distinctive, and probably quite loud. I have to speak with one of Numenon's marmots, and ask after any books which makes mention of such a sound. Last but not least, would you describe how the ancients sought to quell this unprecedented calamity? What definitive action did they take? Well, that last one's, like, obviously very wrong. Dalamud wasn't even a thing then. They summoned Zodiac. Yes, with Elidibus serving as his heart, so many gave themselves in sacrifice to bring him into being. We do not know exactly how Zodiac brought salvation to the star, only that by his godlike will were the laws of nature set aright. Then, once the balance was readdressed, the ancients offered up a further sacrifice to heal the ravages of the final days. Lives sprouted anew, and it was these fledgling souls they intended to render unto Zodiac, a trade that would have allowed them to resurrect the shades of loved ones absorbed by the primal. Hello, Ray J? Rage? How would you like that pronounced? Ray J, Rage? Ray J? Sweet. How are you? There is an option in the Twitch settings to change the capitalization of your name, so it's still possible to do. It's in the... So if you go into your Twitch settings, and just in the profile section, there's username and display name. Display name is you can customize the capitalization of the name. So you can do that if you wanted to. In 2 months. Are you on a cooldown? Because I know you can only do it every so often. Lives sprouted in you. I already read that line. Or might have, had Venat and her fellows not manifested their opposition in the form of Hydaelyn. Thank you, both of you. For the detailed review, I feel much more confident now in my understanding of events. With all that freshly in mind, it does make me wonder what the Telophoroi truly mean when they speak of bringing back the final days. We've seen what they're doing with those towers of theirs. Is forcing people to summon primals a kind of catalyst? Are they attempting to mirror the conditions caused by unstable creation magics? Anyway, how are you though? Welcome in. Or are they simply using the final days as a figure of speech? A convenient metaphor for the scale of destruction they plan to unleash. But this is all just pointless conjecture at this stage. Let us return to our attention to the forum, shall we? We should keep an eye out for your Stola. But 'tis time we began studying these research papers. Damn, Alphino and Kryl are being like loners. I am the last, am I? Well, my extended search of the Archon stacks produced one or two possibly useful books. But I wouldn't get your hopes up. If you recall, Urianger learned of the source's reflections from the Geren oracles. For its potential to cause panic and confusion, the tome was deemed apocrypha and sealed away in the Great Google Library. 'Tis even less likely that knowledge of the unsundered world, not to mention the horrors of the final days, would be left sitting on a shelf for any curious scholar to find. It stands to reason that my colleagues, be they Archons or Councillors, should perforce to be largely ignorant of the subject. Yet, when you confronted Master Fortuno with knowledge of the Telorifoi and their machinations, he scoffed at the suggestion that they posed a threat. He seemed adamant that the Forum would know if the final days were truly upon us. Which only supports the conclusion that whatever privileged wisdom is guiding the Forum's behavior is being kept secret from the rest of the nation. Not that I mean to excuse myself from reading duty. Whether they contain mentions of the final days or no, these books could yet hold something of value. You weren't thinking of leaving, were you? There's plenty of work for everyone. I'm not a scholar. You labor for what feels like an age, as your Stola's research assistant. One quick moment, please. Excuse me, I'm a ninja. I stab the books. Oh dear, you look exhausted. But what about your studies? Were you able to find any books on the subjects I mentioned? Then the day was well spent. Should you wish to read them again, a mammoth at the reference desk will point you in the right direction. For the moment, though, I suggest you take a well-deserved rest. We might be occupied with our research for some time. Hold on. I'm gonna go in there and read about potatoes. Can I only read the ones that... No, I can only read the one... I can only read the ones that I actually read. Sadness. I missed it. Alright. Alizé. Ready for a tea break, Oshato? I know I am. Honestly, my neck and shoulders are gonna calcify if I don't stretch my legs and walk around for a bit. You know the last stand down the harbour, don't you? Come meet me near the outside tables. I'll treat you to their coffee. It's quite good. Run! Damn it, I have to go around. Oh yeah, there's teleport things. I should probably use those. As busy as ever, I see. How very Charlian that no other gourmet cafe has sprung up to compete for customers. Actually, this crowd gives me an idea. Before we place an order, why don't we ask a few questions and gauge the mood of the city? I'm interested to hear what the average citizen has to say about the Taloforoi. We might even learn something new. Worth a try, don't you think? What is it? Can a man not enjoy a moment of private respite? If you're looking to share a table, then I respectfully request that you look elsewhere. You misunderstand me, sir. We were simply wondering if you knew of the Taloforoi. These enemies of peace have promised an end to all we hold dear, and... Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it hugely. Wait, you're that House Levier girl, aren't you? And this man with you is obviously a foreigner. I'd heard you were disowned for helping outsiders indulge their barbaric whims, and here you are giving truth to the rumor. I'll thank you, leave me be. I've naught to say to the likes of you. I must apologize. 'Twas foolish of me to expect an ounce of civility from one so enlightened. Come, Oshato. I mean, it would help if you wanted to get their abject opinion, like object opinions on things. It would help if you didn't, like, strictly call them enemies. Just go, hey, have you heard of the Taloforoi? What do you think of them? If you want, like, opinions. Yes, I don't believe I've had the pleasure. Pray excuse the interruption.
but we were hoping you might share your thoughts on the Telophoroi and their unconscionable plans. God damn it. Stop leading them. My goodness, if it isn't the young Miss Levier. My apologies, but I work in the offices of the Forum, and if word reached Master Fortuneau that I was helping you... I see, we're sorry to have bothered you. Welcome, sir. What can I offer you today? Wait, is that Mistress Eorzea I see there? My word, how long has it been? Far too long. Meet Dekon, the owner of the Last Stand. I used to frequent his cafe on occasion, between lessons at the studium. It seems like an age now. I remember hearing you and Master Alphanos had set sail for Eorzea, but then you never came back. Lately there's been gossip about your father disowning the pair of you. Is everything alright at home? It's complicated, and I hadn't expected complete strangers to be so familiar with our situation quite so quickly. Everyone has an opinion, it seems. Well, it is House Levier. No matter how discreet Master Fortuneau may have been, news of your family's doings never stays secret for long. Things being what they are, what brings you to the city now of all times? We have questions, and only Charlian has the answers. Tell me, Master Dekon, have you heard anything about an apocalypse called the Final Days? What, like the end of the world? Well, it's nothing like that, I'm afraid. And that's what you're here to find? Information on this apocalypse? Yes, whatever we can learn. Unfortunately, your patrons appear to be unwilling to speak with me. I wish there was more I could do to help. Maybe there is. You're a visitor, Charlian, aren't you? Then, few will know your face. We should be able to pass you off as a server with none the wiser. We just finished preparing a new order. A few orders. Strike up some friendly conversation while you're settling down the food, and you might just get the answers you're looking for. Not a bad idea. I hate to ask, but what do you think? Sorry, that was a violent sneeze. Ugh. Very violent. My head hurts after that one. Oof. Alright. That's the spirit. Pay attention now, and I'll explain where each of these dishes needs to go. The tea set is for the chatty group sitting by the water's edge. The omelette is for one of our regulars, a Highlander by the name of Gisla. She's sitting outside on an outside table with a friend of hers. Behind them, you should see a Makote gentleman. His order is that oven-baked lobster. Got all that? If you're not sure, just ask again, I'll explain. Oh, my tea set. Lovely, thank you. The Telophoroi who? I'm sorry, I've never heard of them. Or their final days. My friends and I are somewhat uninformed when it comes to current events. Now, if you wanted to hear about ritual arcane practices of the 6th Astral Era, common or esoteric, then I'd happy to talk your ear off. Ah, finally. 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's dig in. No time to waste. What? The Telophoroi? Ah, yes, I remember seeing the name in the latest Gazette. That and some grand claim about the end of days. Some old senseless warmongering. When will these folks grow tired of spilling each other's blood? Best stay out of it, I say. The Forum made the right choice, and I fully support our decision to remain neutral. Urbane banter with a smile. At last, the oven-baked lobster is mine. You have no idea how long I've scrimped and saved and suffered to afford this heavenly dish. Final days? This is the first I've heard of it. Although, that would explain why my friend has been rushed off his feet. Must be a busy time to be a gleaner. You don't know what a gleaner is? They're collectors of sort? Travel the world, procuring things that we haven't gotten here in Sharlayan. Priceless books, unusual life specimens, and so forth. It's so named for these folks who trail after the reapers in the fields, picking up every grain that was missed. By all accounts, a gleaner is a most meticulous and demanding profession. If these Telophoroi make good on their audacious threats, then many uncategorized rarities could be lost forever. Why else would the gleaners be buzzing about in such a frenzy? Watch the harbor, you'll see what I mean. They're carting loads in from the docks all day. It's never been this hectic before, not like this. I wonder if they're intending to, like, the Sharlayans just waiting, like, intending to just let the apocalypse wash over them. Any trouble with the customers? Were you able to get anyone talking? Interesting. They seem unaware of the final days, aside from whatever vague news the gazettes are printing. Even Dickon has nothing to offer, and he's the best source of gossip in the city. If the Forum does have secret knowledge, then they've done an impressive job of ensuring no one whispers it into the wrong ear. In any case, thank you for playing the part so well. Here, that cup of coffee I promised. But let's enjoy our drink somewhere else, shall we? Maybe behind this peristyle, away from the gossip and their wagging tongues. The fuck's a peristyle? It still doesn't tell me what a peristyle is. Yes, this should do nicely. Out of the wind and out of sight. This voice.
When our father disowned us, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It wasn't until much later that his words began to sink in, that I began to feel the weight of what it meant. Do you remember when the decision was made to come to Sharlayan? Graham said that the Forum was determined to keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy, to keep us at arm's length. Perhaps it was. Father argued with Grandfather on many occasions, but never with such dismissive contempt. And when he demanded what justifies the sacrifices we make in war, I honestly didn't know what to say. Neither did Alpha know, I know, but never for one moment did I believe we had made the wrong choice.
Okay.
So all I could do
The
was
more you know.
fume silently. It was only afterwards that I realized how childish I had been. How being stubborn and self-righteous must run in the family. If I could have just mustered a civil response, then things might have turned out differently. They must be ferrying goods to Labyrinthos. A vast complex beneath the island. Sharlayan is famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples. Our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility. Still, that did seem to be an unusually large shipment. When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat. Wait! Didn't you hear something in the last stand about the gleaners coming and going more than usual?
That was the most important.
They're the ones we saw manning those boats. And gleaners answer to the forum.
That was literally the most important piece of information I got from my fucking little cafe adventure. Why are you only thinking about this now? Jesus.
If the appearance of the Telophoroi prompted this sudden burst of activity, then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the Forum is planning.
It's snowing. The fuck is this, Ishgard? One moment. I have returned. We should tell the others what we've learned about the Gleaners. Go ahead to Numenon, and I'll join you in a moment. Master Dickon will want his cups back. Welcome back, Oshato. Been for a walk and cleared your head, have you? Not exactly. We did some impromptu investigating and turned up information on the Gleaners. It makes sense. The Gleaners take their requests directly from the institutions and bureaucrats, but as you say, they ultimately answer to the Forum. A sudden and significant increase in Gleaner traffic and in cargo certainly gives the impression that an overarching plan has been put into motion. Let us see what theory we can build from the facts. Sorry, having to blow my nose. Might have to again. Ugh. Something's agitated it. As Justola observed earlier, Numenon's archives appear to contain no information concerning the final days. Coupled with what Oshato and Alizé learned at the Last Stand, we can be reasonably sure that most Sharlians know nothing of that particular period of ancient history. Yet my father and his colleagues are not only familiar with the final days, but are also somehow certain that the destruction being perpetrated by the Tlofuroi is wholly unlike these apocalyptic events. Moreover, the Forum claims to be so occupied by a duty of such pressing importance that they saw fit to unanimously deny Eorzea's request for aid. And now the Gleaners, official agents of the state, have been mobilized on an unprecedented scale. I do not think it is a stretch to conclude that the Gleaners' recent activities are in service to the Forum's secretive ends. In which case, our next course of action seems obvious. We visit Labyrinthos and assess the situation for ourselves, and if we're lucky, the Gleaners will be far more receptive to our questions. What should we expect down there? I would hate to spoil the surprise. As for myself, there are a few more subjects I should like to research. I may join you later, but feel free to leave behind your borrowed books, and be on your way. I'll see to it that each is returned to its proper place. That would be a great help, thank you, Raha. Let's head down the stairs over there, and I'll show you where the entrance is. Fuck your stairs. Ready? Labyrinthos is not too far from here, but you may find the path a bit disorientating. I'll take the lead, so stay close. Oh my god, she's walking so slowly. What was the walk key? Was it delete? Nope. Q? Nope, that's walk sideways. I know there was like a walk button. Nope, that reset the camera. Bob. Page up. Nope. That zooms in and out. No. Oh, now she's running. Okay. Big place. Here we are, through this door and down the stairs. You did remember to attune to the shard back there, didn't you? It would make your life much easier if you need to come back in a hurry. Otherwise, we should keep moving. Or is it this way? Is this like the Senate or the Forum Hall? They've got a chocobo keep here? What the hell? We're all here now, yes? I've taken the liberty of securing permission for our group's descent. Right? Everyone onto the lift and down we go.
Deep beneath the scholar's city shines a false sun within a fabricated sky.
The sun was off.
In any age exist those who consider the floor an extension of their bookshelves. And this vault's architects surely belonged to that special breed. If the stack grows too high, start a new one. If no room remains, then make more rooms. A simple solution at first, and then bit by bit, a profound transformation. Knowledge, buried beneath knowledge, a growing, creeping labyrinth from which there is no escape.
Labyrinthos.
Not what you expected. I must admit, the artifice is very convincing.
I feel like it would be a lot more convincing if it was currently daytime down here. For me.
But I assure you that we are beneath Sharlayan itself. The breeze you feel, the flowing waters you hear, all created by the hand of man.
The island is volcanic, you see.
And once upon a time, this great hollow must have been a reservoir for magma. It was discovered some 400 years ago, at which point it was repurposed as a storage facility for scrolls and samples and such. Renovations have continued, with nigh on no interruption to this day, with the lower levels still undergoing expansion.
Aren't those people gleaners?
Aye, judging by their dress. They are said to work alone as a rule, but 'twould seem that rule is being enthusiastically broken today. It may be as you suspected, that they are engaged in a task apart from the norm.
Oh, is it? Okay. I
Let's
did not
spread out
realize.
and get some answers then.
I thought it was for the rest of the month. My bad. We'll turn that off. There we go. Oh shit, Kryle, you good?
Did you call to me just now?
You here in Heidelin?
No. How odd. I must be a bit dizzy from the descent.
Thank you for the heads up.
I'll be fine, I'm sure. Let's get to work, shall we?
Thank you for the heads up and welcome in. There are Aether guards here. This is west, not east. This thing is so shiny. Set it there. No, it is up there. How does one get up there? Around this way. Hop, hop. Oh no, trolls. Haha! I'm sneaky because I'm higher level. Too far away for me to give a fuck about right now. Ba-da-da-da.
You're here to help, or give me more headaches, because you don't have the look of a gleaner, and I'm in no mood for idle chatter. One of my colleagues was so exhausted he took a tumble and crashed into a pile of crates. Now I have a pack of marmots running loose. Your exchange with Erenville has taught you about exhausted gleaners. Let me think. The Rhea seeds should be item 1058. Cumin seeds 1059. Snurbbleberry 1060. Or were they 1061? My head feels like it's stuffed with moko grass. Why more loads to take out than carry in? Might do all this at once and risk mixing it up. What if someone mistakes the Kuerthan carrots for the Garabanian carrots? What then? Your exchange with Tiv has taught you about large shipments coming in and out of Labyrinthos. You want to know what I'm doing? Hauling books and ore and fauna. If it needs hauling, I haul it. Every decade or so, they take stock in Labyrinthos, you know? Sort and tidy up the inventory. Never seen an operation like this before, though. They just did one a few summers ago, even. Then, with no warning at all, this mess gets dropped in our laps. Orders from on high. Damned if I know the reason. Could be they're changing the layout, preparing for the next big expansion. Any luck, Oshato? What tales did the gleaners have to tell? So this grand operation began without warning. And for every item they bring in, they're sending more inventory somewhere else. That would explain the haggard faces I'm seeing. We were right, the Forum is definitely up to something. And they're turning Labyrinthos upside down in the process. We would do well to learn more of what specifically the Gleaners are being tasked to do, as well as who has tasked them to do it. If you're game, Oshato, I have an idea. Didn't one of the Gleaners you questioned say something about escaped marmots? Perhaps if you were to help him capture said creatures, he might be inclined towards a more friendly and enlightening conversation. In the meantime, I will turn my charms upon this gleaner here. We can compare notes afterwards. Happy hunting. You wish to help me find the marmots? I've nothing suitable to pay you for your services, but if you're offering out of the goodness of your heart, I'd welcome the assistance. Name's Erenville, friend. Specialist in the collection of live specimens. That said, the capture of these Naxian marmots is a trial of no desire to repeat. Grizzled mice, they call them. For a mercy, there are no other marmot species on this tier at present, so there should be no mistaking our little fugitives. If you happen to catch any, stuff them in the sack. Gently, of course. And where to begin, you wonder? I've not seen any scampering around here, so we'll need to widen our search to the surrounding forest. Be on your guard. There are beasts out there that won't hesitate to prey on a marmot or you. Is this when they introduced the male Viera? I'll search the trees to the west. The eastern part of the forest is all yours. Good luck. I thought it was Dawn Trail, but is that female Hrothgar that they introduced in Dawn Trail, or do they both come out in Endwalker? I know my easts and wests, I promise. Okay. I thought both of them were DT. In the sack you go. Chirp squeak. No, in the sack, I said! Barely have you readied the sack when the grizzled mouse scampers off into the underbrush. So tonight's going to be like a little bit of an early one. As usual, my Saturdays are quite busy, but especially today, I have not been sleeping well these last few days, so I am quite tired. But I have absolutely nothing on Sunday. So I intend for tomorrow night's stream to potentially be a bit longer. So if you're interested in a bit of a long haul stream, come check out my next stream tomorrow. It'll be maybe like 6 hours. Ski. In the sack you go. The rodent nimbly evades your grasp once more before disappearing into the trees. God damn it. Yeah, like 6 hours, maybe, give or take. I don't know exactly, but I intend to go for a bit longer. I've been wanting to do a little bit more of a marathon-y game, session, but I have thus far mostly just been a little too busy the days after to justify. Hiding, I see. You've got yourself cornered. Chirp. To be fair, I know enough about trying to catch mice that just because he's cornered doesn't mean he's cornered. More prepared for its speed this time, you succeed in closing the sack over your elusive prey. So, yeah, I may have to finish up nowish, unfortunately. I'll finish this quest at least, but yes, stay tuned for tomorrow's stream, because it'll be a longer one. How did you fare? I tracked down 3 of the pack, which leaves 1 unaccounted for. Ah, there's the odd marmot out. See, he's saying that there's the only marmot around, but that's a marmot right there. Wait here a moment while I put our friends in a holding cage.
It's a good thing we were able to recapture who tasked you to capture them in the first place. Why? The authority in charge of Labyrinthos, now and in perpetuality. Oh, marmots, not mammoth. I can read. I thought he had a thing of mammoths. Why, the authority in charge of Labyrinthos, now and in perpetuality. The same officials who have had us working day and night of late. The honourable members of the Forum. Who else? Suitable for consumption and easy to breed. Those were the two conditions I was given to the stock I was instructed to procure. See, if you hadn't have said that, I'd be very confused at this line of dialogue. Easy for why are you eating the mammoths? Why are you eating the robots? But no, marmots. This makes a lot more sense. I thought it was just a little robot mouse. I don't know what the Forum has planned for these creatures, but at the least I doubt they'll be served for dinner today or tomorrow. There you are, Ashato. Is this the gleaner you mentioned? The one who was looking for lost marmots? Interesting company you keep, friend. Who are you folk, anyway? I am Kryl, of the students of Baldessian. These others are my associates. Truth be told, the Forum's decisions of late have not sat entirely well with us. That is why we've made the descent into Labyrinthos. We hoped that by seeing those decisions put into action, we might more fully understand their reasoning. Wise and practical. Never hurts to try and gain a broader perspective, does it? Anyway, duty calls. Other animals to capture and enclosures to empty. Once again, I'm sorry I can't offer you more for your service. Did you learn anything new from your friend here? So, we've confirmed that the order for this ambitious operation did indeed come directly from the Forum. However, the Gleaners have not been informed of its purpose. I'd say that fits with everything we've heard thus far. We also discovered when the operation was begun. The Forum contacted the Gleaners' guild ship and put their people to this great work some 4 days after the Telophoroi made their chilling declaration. As seasoned travelers, the Gleaners keep abreast of news from every corner of the world out of necessity. Thus, I'm inclined to trust that the calendar of events is accurate. Altogether, it gives the distinct impression that this undertaking was a sudden and unexpected development. Yet I find it hard to believe that such a comprehensive restructuring of Labyrinthos and its archives could have been planned in so brief a window. Nay, this plan was long in the making. They were but awaiting the right time to put it into effect. And the Telorofoi's declaration was what set it all in motion? It seems likely, but let us not leap to conclusions just yet. For the moment, I suggest we conduct a wider investigation of Labyrinthos. The more facilities we visit, the more pieces of the puzzle we stand to find. In that case, how about we head to the Archaeon? From there, we can reach the lower... Kryl, what's wrong? I'm fine, truly. Suddenly, the sudden descent has left me with a bit of a headache, that's all. Nothing that will stop me from soldiering on. Let us be about it, then. Stop pretending like this is normal! At least allow me to take the lead. I'm fairly certain I remember the way to the Archeon. We followed the path east, through the forest where you were chasing after that mouse, or marmot, was it? Anyway, 'tis the trolls you need to watch out for. Okay. Alright, this will be me finished for the evening, unfortunately. I know it's a little bit of an early one, but I will be making up for it too with a tomorrow stream that'll be a bunch longer. I'm seriously considered changing my like general intro-outro music with the Sharlayan theme. This is really nice. I could just sit here and listen to this for ages. It is very evocative of the music in Nier, though. But yes, thank you all for watching. It's been a pleasure having you here. If you have not, if you've been watching for a bit and you are not following and you've enjoyed what you've seen, consider dropping a follow. If you are following and you want to support me in other ways, apart from subscribing, you can join my Discord, or you can just spread the word of my stream. Spread it to the four corners of the world. Everyone must know that I am entertaining somehow. But yes, I'll see you all tomorrow for my stream, in which I'll be continuing Endwalker. Have an absolutely good, absolutely amazing rest of your day or evening or whatever your time zone will give you. The Nautilus knoweth. I shall note that down right now. Alright. Thank you for that. But yes, have a good one all, and enjoy.